Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Monday, March 25th, 2019. Alright, so not a whole lot going on astrologically here today, or really much this week. I mean, there are some important things, but today here, most importantly, the moon is going to be in Scorpio, and so the theme likely today around depth, getting into the deeper aspects of life, connecting to the deeper aspects emotionally, and just makes it a really good day for this awareness and acceptance and thus transformation that comes from this deeper awareness. So that's likely the theme today. However, all week we do have Mercury retrograde very close to Neptune, and Mercury is going to go direct on Thursday. So there's still maybe feeling this from the weekend, a bit of dreamy energy with the mind, maybe a bit hazy or unclear about things that we're thinking about. So all week, it's really good for channeling that into, well, first of all, creative things and imagination can be great, but also just really trusting our intuition, being present, maybe incorporating a little more of that acceptance into our life that can really bring in that inner knowing that arises from this. All right, so other than this, we'll do a quick weekly recap, take a look at where all the planets are astrologically, here in more detail when I return. All right, so here's the sky for this Monday. So again, we are using the actual size of the constellations called true sidereal astrology. This does change the signs from mainstream astrology. So if you are new to the channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's go and do a quick rundown of today's energies, and then we'll do a recap of the weekly energies because we did have a lot of shifts and changes from around that full moon last week. So first of all, today the most important thing is that the moon is going to be shifting into deep Scorpio. So the theme will likely be placed on more deeper things in life. So essentially gaining some deeper awareness. So this can be deeper awareness about ourselves, which makes it a great day for empowerment, self-transformation, breaking cycles, facing fears, all this kind of stuff that arises from that acceptance of the deeper side of ourself or of our shadow. But this is also really good for research, so uncovering hidden things just about life in general. And then also in relationships as well. Maybe some themes around setting boundaries. So setting boundaries in certain situations, but then also letting those boundaries down in our intimate relationships to allow for, again, a bit of that depth and trust and a deeper connection in our one-to-one connections. All right, so that's likely the theme today, feeling this emotionally, likely noticing some, experiences with that. In terms of the aspects, no major aspects here going exact today. Not even really with the moon. I mean, the moon will be trining up to Chiron, so there might just be a bit of a healing energy, just feeling a bit rejuvenated, maybe emotionally, maybe a little bit healed emotionally. Good day for healing, though, with the trine up to Chiron. But other than that, the most important thing is that we are in the disseminating phase, which means that last Wednesday we did have that full moon. And so if there are any insights that you still have from last week that you want to implement this week, it is a really good week to do so. There's still a bit of a heightened energy in the lunar cycle, and it's good to just carry some things forward, move some of that momentum, specifically regarding any shifts and changes since last week. All right, so let's go and do a recap here and see where everything's at. So again, this is in the context of the sun in Pisces. It's still a very watery time, especially now today with the moon in watery Scorpio. But with Pisces, it's been very important to really connect to what you might call our spiritual self, or the present moment, or maybe into the unconscious mind, or into the creative realms. Just really get into that receptive energy and develop that and focus on life in this sort of way with the sun in Pisces. Now, adding to that watery energy, we do have Mercury, who is retrograde still, and has been going over Neptune, but because Mercury's slowing down to go direct on Thursday, he's drawing out this conjunction with Neptune. Neptune represents the same stuff Pisces does. It's all about the vastness of life, the ocean of life, you could say, and Mercury involves our mind and communication. So there is this perhaps bit of dreamy energy this week from, again, maybe you felt it over the weekend, maybe hazy thinking, unclarity. So it is great for channeling this into Neptunian things. So creativity, imagination, sometimes letting the mind wander a bit, finding dreams, dreams and ideals, especially in Aquarius, could be about the future. But also spiritual activities, right? So it's a really good week for things like meditation, yoga, whatever it is that helps you get into a present state and really surrender what's outside of your control when it comes to what we're thinking about, so that we can listen to that stillness, that inner guidance, that intuition, and that is where the clarity is arising. During the Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of information actually coming in. It just might be intuitive information, all right? Or from the unconscious or from the spiritual realms, however you see that. So really good to do that stuff consciously, set some intentions with that stuff, with Neptunian spiritual things. And then also just to, on a practical front, just to be clear right now. It's a really good time to be as clear as we can about communication. It's usually the case anyways when Mercury's retrograde, but especially if he's retrograde over Neptune like this. We just want to make sure everything is clear, not taken for granted, and just be upfront about things. Just be as upfront about things as possible, just to make sure there's no misunderstandings or mixing of communication or whatever it is. All right, so that's probably the most important thing in terms of this week, actually, because like I said, that's going to draw out even after Mercury goes direct on Thursday. So it's really a week of that kind of energy. All right, so other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at Venus and Mars real quick. So these also changed signs last week. So there's been a lot of shifts and changes last week. Venus is now in Aquarius. When it comes to our relationships and connections, we can really be enjoying the more eccentric aspects of ourself and of our relationships, our uniqueness, freedom, maybe connecting about future things regarding shared visions or shared ideals in our relationships, especially if they have to do with the world at large or community, or again, anything pertaining to the future there. Now, Mars has last week also shifted into Taurus, which eased up a lot of that more fiery energy we were feeling with Mars in Aries. So now Mars in grounded Taurus means that we can be feeling quite steady and stable when we're taking action and pursuing the things that we want in life. So just feeling a bit strong internally, maybe a bit resourceful, maybe a bit self-reliant, maybe a bit of this inner strength as we are taking action and pursuing those things with Mars in Taurus. All right, everyone, so that's the sort of weekly recap. Most important thing today, however, is that moon in Scorpio. So themes likely today around depth, getting in touch with the deeper aspects of life, whether it's for ourselves, the outer environment, maybe our relationships. Really good to cultivate this, especially in the context of any insights from last week's full moon that we can be implementing and moving forward this week. All right, so everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time for the daily forecast. Take care.